High Court Judge Sandil Kissoon in very clear terms ruled that ExxonMobil's Guyana subsidiary should cover unlimited liability for all costs of cleanup, restoration and compensation for any damage from any discharge of any contaminant during exploration and production activities in the prolific Stabroek Block offshore. If the subsidiary is unable to cover all of those costs, then Justice Kissoon said its parent company, ExxonMobil, should assume that responsibility by providing an unlimited parent guarantee. If no such guarantee is in place to indemnify the state, then it was noted that the state, that is Guyana, is liable for all that occurs. The company's local subsidiary is known as Esso Exploration and Production Guyana Limited, EEPGL. EEPGL is one of 3 joint venture partners in the Stabroek Block, where oil production has started since 2019 and where more than 30 discoveries have been made. Hess and CNOOC are the other partners. Wednesday's ruling is seen as a landmark one, more so since it clearly places full responsibility of financial assurance in case of any adverse event, such as an oil spill, on the operator, EEPGL. Let's examine some key aspects of that ruling. First, we examine Justice Kissoon's position on EEPGL. According to him, EEPGL failed to comply with its financial assurance obligation stipulated in a renewed environmental permit for the parent guarantee, and that EEPGL has to satisfy unlimited and uncapped liability for all costs associated with cleanup, restoration, and compensation for any discharge from any contaminant offshore. He did not mince words on what he believed was EEPGL's failure to satisfy its obligations. In his ruling, he said, quote, "In the course of these proceedings, the court found on evidence before it that Esso Exploration and Production Guyana Limited was engaged in a disingenuous attempt which was calculated to deceive when it sought to dilute its liabilities and settled obligations stipulated and expressed in clear, unambiguous terms at condition 14 of the renewed environmental permit, while simultaneously optimizing production at the Liza Phase 1 petroleum production project in the Stabroek Block offshore Guyana." Unquote. The court found that there is clear, expressed, and unambiguous language in the renewed environmental permit that EEPGL must cover these costs, and this responsibility, Justice Kissoon said, is not unusual. EEPGL and Guyana's Environmental Protection Agency argued inter alia that it only has to cover reasonably credible costs, expenses, and liabilities that may arise from the breach of the permit. They do not agree that EEPGL has to provide unlimited insurance to deal with any adverse event, such as an oil spill. But the court ruled otherwise, stating that those arguments are entirely without merit and have no basis in law, fact, and circumstance. Next, we examine in greater detail Justice Kissoon's position on the EPA. It was found that there are several shortcomings on the EPA's part. In fact, it was noted that EEPGL engaged in this course of action because of the omissions of a derelict, pliant, and submissive EPA. And Justice Kissoon further said, quote, "The approach adopted by the EPA in the course of these proceedings was inconsistent with its mandate and statutory functions, which is one of transparency and accountability to engender trust and confidence of the citizens and members of the public, whose behalf and in whose interest it carries out its functions as a public authority in the public interest." Unquote. ExxonMobil Corporation and its partners only last week announced a $12.7 billion investment in Guyana. This will be for their 5th and most expensive offshore oil project in Guyana, and it is expected to take production to over 1 million barrels of oil within the next 4 years. This ruling, however, is believed to have profound ramifications on economic developments. The Attorney General's chambers, in a statement for the EPA and the government of Guyana, said it was their considered view that the environmental permit imposes no obligation on the permit holder to provide an unlimited parent guarantee agreement and/or an affiliate company guarantee agreement. As such, the statement said Justice Kissoon's ruling would be appealed. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Vishani Ragobeer.